Yeah, so we starting this bitch. Here with my boys Twale and Devil Egg. And Devil Egg's
Yo,
he hasn't really been on the channel much, but it's a first time for everything. I think this is your first time, right?
I believe so.
But yeah, what's up? How you doing?
Not much, I'm good.
gotta get you on more often.
Yeah, I just don't
What
really
happened to Druko?
know your schedule, but we'll figure it out. Druko, I mean, he didn't answer. I don't even know if he read the chapter. He kind of reads One Piece randomly if he hears the chapter's good. But so yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up a random comment. You know, that just happened to pull up this comment, no reason in particular, right, Devil Egg? And it says, and I quote, "Chill with the Sanji stuff. He's obviously getting info out of Black Maria. 5 head play from Sanji coming up. Thoughts, Devil Egg?"
I was completely wrong. That's all that I can say.
Ah man,
Devil, you did. Oh man,
the hopes versus
Listen, bro.
reality.
I was like, you know what? I'll put my neck out for this, and now I'm headless. So
yeah. Fuck it, because it's let's.
Ah
Yo,
man.
Sanji's so bad, yo.
But what do you think about it overall, Devil Egg? I know you probably don't like it, but how bad do you think it is? Do you think it's just whatever or actually bad?
it's just the main problem here is that it's one of these things that is framed for the story, but it feels like there's things that outside of it that don't. It was like when Sanji was fighting Page One, right? There was this whole thing about him needing to put on the raid suit so he could finish it quickly. When there was like Law and Frankie there, it's like they could have just jumped Page One, but just for the story, they're like, no, I got to do this alone. I got to use the raid suit. It was kind of artificial. That's kind of how I felt here. He was like, he didn't need Robin to escape. Somehow he broke free of the first web, and he could have just like used his light speed or whatever to get away, or his invisibility or anything else. But no, it's framed like I needed to call Robin here because there's just some things I can't do. And I'm like, okay, this feels artificial. But other than that, I actually like the chapter.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways where you could have made a cool Robin entrance. I just don't feel like this was necessary. So at the end, it just kind of felt like it was a waste of time. I mean, this did take up like half the chapter just for Robin's entrance, if I'm correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
think it's
honestly,
about
much.
half.
I'm more disappointed in the dialogue than I am the situation. Like Sanji could be in this situation and not come off as such a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
like you're like I don't like when he's asking for help. He could have just said, yo, Robin, I'm in a situation. There's females. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have to say, please help me. I'm gonna die. Like it's like the way Oda is doing him dirty like this is just wrong. Like even as a known Sanji hater, it's like, bruh, enough is enough. At a certain point, it's like you got a way to beat up niggas. Why didn't you just keep like dancing around these bitches? Like you telling me her webs is that invisible? Like you can't see any of them? Like I don't get it, man.
Observation hockey specialist, by the way.
You
And
know
then
how
the
bad it is? That irrelevant motherfucker from Kids Crew, the guy who's so trash, his name is Heat. Even he's like pathetic. That's
nah,
how
yeah,
bad it
that
is.
kind of
Yeah,
hurt.
they had it
Nah.
broadcast all over the island too.
And
Yeah,
then
that kind of hurt.
Beppo, the one that was said he was gonna betray him. You got to make sure he doesn't betray. Now he's the one who's like, oh, the Straw Hats betraying. They're the ones, giving this shit off. As pretty ironic.
And then again with the I can't use my armament hockey because it might hurt me to defend it might hurt you to defend myself. It's like, bruh, Sanji, like what? She got brass knuckles on, my nigga. I'm pretty sure she got armament hockey too. Like, what? Like
I'm just,
oh man,
I
this
don't
shit is
know.
just
I'm trying to think of a way where this has any purpose, and
no, it has none.
the only thing I can think of is like all of Sanji's fights. Obviously, like for the most part, he was injured beforehand. So I guess Oda might just want to keep up with that. Maybe if he fights Queen, I would not like for that to happen. But maybe he's injured and then he beats him like around high diff, and then it's just the same old Sanji's injured and look what he was still able to do. I don't know. That's like the best like interpretation you can get out of it. If you're a Sanji fan, you're like, wow, he's injured and he's still gonna beat a commander.
I guess shit. People want him to fight Jack now.
Who's also injured.
Yeah, right. Who's also heavily injured and fought armies on top of the Sulong Duke. So it's like he has to fight Queen. Queen's the only one on Kaido's side that we haven't seen in a minute. and he's the only one that we know isn't like matched up with somebody. At least we know, like it's been confirmed that King is fighting Marco and a few samurai with his people. Like Queen is just wandering, and they're both on the second floor. So
Yeah, we did get
my thing is this is like if since like yes he took damage or whatever, but since he let it happen to him, that's not a feat. It's not a pass. Like he don't get kudos for beating anybody while injured if you let the injuries happen. At least in my eyes. Like
I mean, it depends on how hard Black Maria hits, obviously. But considering Robin's probably about to beat her ass, I'm guessing it's not that hard. So, yeah, I wouldn't really classify this as a good
don't
feat.
underestimate Nico Robin.
Shit. I mean, we'll get to that, I guess. But, Oda did show some matchups. I didn't particularly care for any of them except for Marco versus King. I mean, the fact that Drake and Apu are still fighting is kind of interesting. But I don't think we needed to see, Jinbei and Frankie. Though it was more for their reactions, but I found that part to be whatever. I am interested in. It seems Marco is on the back foot against King, and they have been fighting for a relatively short amount of time. But I guess some King hype is coming because he seems to be holding his own. So that's pretty cool.
I think niggas took that one scene of Marco holding them up out of proportion. Like, yes, it was cool, but I just think niggas overhyped it to where, oh, King is trash now, Queen is trash now. Like, Marco's super nice. It's like, nah, they're still relatively on the same level. Marco just, you know what I'm saying, caught him slipping once.
Yeah, I would put Marco like a tier above, but they would still go like around highish diff, I think. But it's still yet to be seen.
I would actually like a King versus Marco fight.
You said you like it?
Yeah, I said I would like to see like a full King versus Marco fight. Like I want that to be King's fight for the arc.
Yeah, I'd like that as well. I mean, it's not particularly like my favorite matchup. I don't really have like an idea of how the choreography would be cool in my head other than like they're flying around and that can make it cool, but there's not really other matchups that I think are way more interesting. So yeah, for the time being, I mean, I like it. But
I mean, yeah.
We move on to the Robin portion, and this is probably going to be the highlight of the chapter for everyone. There's a number of things I liked about
Robin
this.
Is big.
Yeah, she had a cool entrance, which, like I said, she didn't need this scenario to have a cool entrance, but no, she had a cool entrance. She had some badass lines, and it didn't feel forced because she wasn't like trying to bring up something like, "Oh, I'm so much stronger than you," or like some like generic dialogue. Like it's pretty much real. Like I've traveled across like heinous crews. Like there is like some devil inside me, or whatever she said, and then it comes out when you fuck with her friends, which obviously we know that's the case after, especially
that's actually the one. That's actually like the one piece of dialogue I didn't like. It felt corny to me.
Nah,
I mean, I can understand that, but
I loved it,
especially after like Enies Lobby. I mean, it's easy to like get heartfelt moments, just look back at Enies Lobby and then use that. But after Enies Lobby, like after everything they did for her, I could see, her saying that. But maybe it could have been worded better.
Yeah, some things might be changed in the viz, but she hit her with that spank, nigga. Oh, that shit look clean.
That part was cool. I'm just talking about the dialogue specifically. It just kind of sounded corny to me.
My favorite part are those
half my
your
life
last words?
Organizations. Naturally seeing my friends mistreated brings out the devil in me. Nah, that shit is fire, bro, because she's the devil child. The chapter is literally named after her. Nah, that was fire. It wasn't forced.
I think the icing on the cake and my favorite moment is like the Black Eyes panel right after that.
Yeah, it's like we've never seen Robin get in her bag and like this. So it's like this shit is dope. And she looks so good.
And then another good part is that at the end where she's like, "You've made my day, thanks for counting on me." I mean, this is something that I've complained about with Sanji forever. Like, women can, pull their own weight. They don't have to be like coddled to as if they're toddlers. Like, they could take hits, they can fight themselves. Like, there's no problem with women getting hit. And this is something that Robin is kind of like an outsider in a sense. Like, she's kind of just there in the crew. So for her to actually be relied on, I could see why she would appreciate that. So yeah, good moment for her. Like, after she hasn't done anything for most of the story, pretty much, it's pretty cool for her to actually, do something.
Can we talk about the clutchest nigga in the Straw Hat crew right now?
Chopper.
My nigga Brooke. Fuck you talk about? my nigga Brooke is really the clutchest nigga in the Straw Hats right now. Between fighting Big Mom, calling her young lady and all that shit, stealing the poneglyphs, breaking the mother caramel photo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that shit. All of that shit. Like Brooke is saving Sanji like without anybody noticing at first. Like that shit is dope. Pardon me, I've already freed you. Like listen, I fucking love Brooke, man. I fucking love. I'm surprised he didn't actually see Black Maria's panties.
Well, I mean, she's obviously not wearing any.
She's obviously not wearing any. That's a fact.
I mean, yeah, she is a part spider. But
you think she has a hybrid form, like or is this her hybrid form?
I don't think this is her final form. I would say she has another one. But I really hope this isn't like Brooks' fight, as if like he's just Robin's backup.
I see what people are saying, but who else is he gonna fight?
I don't know. I mean, I thought of Brooke versus Apu later on in the series, but maybe he just beats Apu's ass right now. Doubt it, but maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's gonna fight a Flying Six, you would expect Brooke would at least fight someone of that caliber.
True. The way I see the fights panning out right now is obviously Jinbei, who's who, Sasaki, Frankie, Marco King. I see Sanji fighting Queen, and then I see Yamato protecting the scabbards from Jack. But I don't know who Brooke fights. Like we don't have enough opponents for Brooke to fight.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Big Mom Pirates will probably get involved because Jack was kind of hinting at the scabbards still being a threat. So then I would assume based off that they still have some fights of their own to get through. So you would think like who would they fight unless the Big Mom Pirates actually come? I could see like maybe Dendro versus Smoothie, and then is the long neck chick, is she part of the Big Mom Pirates right now?
Monday, I have no idea if she's there.
Yeah, if she's there, then I could see Brooke fighting her. That could be an alright fight. I don't know. I feel like they'd have to come though. Not necessarily have to, but if the scabbards are getting like individual fights as well, then they probably should be here because they're kind of running out of people.
Yeah, I don't see the scabbards getting fights. I see them getting protected. How I see it is Yamato and them are gonna find the scabbards. Yamato is gonna protect the scabbards, and they're not gonna like see Odin in her, but they're like it's gonna be like an Odin moment where where Odin was holding them up in the boiling oil or whatever. It's gonna be like a moment like that where she's protecting the 9 of them in Momonosuke from Jack. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of gonna be like how the rest of them view her in a good light, even though they're later gonna find out she's Kaido's daughter and shit. They're gonna because she saved them and protected them, they're gonna view her in a better light.
So what do you think Jack's lines where he was like, they're too much for a Flying Six still, even though they're injured? What do you think that was for? Was it set up kind of like
oh no, that's a save face.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jack was capping.
Jack had to save face. He couldn't let nobody else beat them because they whooped his ass up on the roof. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a pride thing for him. So it's like they beat me, right? Like I couldn't beat them on fucking Zoe. Like technically, I couldn't get Raizo. I couldn't complete my objective. Then when I came here, and then when I came back, the fucking elephant smacked me. Then they came here, attacked Kaido. You know what I'm saying? Which is like a flaw, like a besmirch to like the commanders, because like you're supposed to be there to protect your captain or whatever, no matter how strong he is. Then he gets whooped, not whooped, but you know what I'm saying? He lost on the roof, got saved, and now he just has to be the one to kill them. Like he can't let anybody else do it.
See, another thing I took out of it was the fact that Black Maria said you're underestimating me. I feel like that's Oda continuing to push the commanders don't think the Flying Six are all that, but the Flying Six think they could be commanders narrative, and that might go somewhere with it. I mean, at this point, with who's who fighting Jinbei, you'd probably think no, it's not going to happen, but the fact that it keeps getting like reestablished, I feel like there has to be something that gives some sort of scale where it's like maybe who's who is just that guy, and he shows himself to be commander level. Like it's going to be some surprising moment like that.
Yeah. Like I mean, honestly, out of all the Straw Hats, like Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei, they're probably the only ones that I would comfortably say are commander level. So if he's putting up a good fight with Jinbei, I say he's around that level. Yeah, I can say that.
I mean, we have to actually see the fights before I can judge any of this.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but I'd rather not get into it. But yeah, there wasn't really that much to talk about in this chapter. I think we pretty much covered all
No,
of it.
it's like you said. Half the chapter was Sanji flooding comms.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he got embarrassed, so there's that. And Marco find it funny, which I like Marco's sense of humor, where he just like he's lively and he's peaceful in a sense, and he like anytime like someone gets embarrassed or like some dumb shit happens, he just likes laughing at it.
Laughs it off.
Yeah, he's really carefree.
Marco's a good guy.
That's like one of the things that it's like a reason why people from the beginning they kind of like gravitated towards Marco. They just saw how carefree he was, and they just fuck with that.
Shoot. Honestly, the only thing else I really want to talk about is, well, two things. One, Black Maria's tattoo, dangers of women, women, and then what the fuck this staff shit is. Like,
It's
Staff
obviously a head that's on fire on a staff. Come on, Twale.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
staff
looks
shit did
can be
look
deceiving.
weird.
like looks, I say looks can be deceiving, but nah, I get what. But like, what does it do, my nigga? It's like it
I
has to
don't
be
know.
more than just like she just
I
pulled that
assume
shit
she
out of
just
nowhere.
whacks people
Too.
with it. I don't like it might spin or something. Maybe it's like a saw. But I don't know. I thought she would just like whack people with it and they would, face the blunt damage plus the heat. I don't know. I guess we
It
could
looks
talk.
pretty cool though. I like the art here.
This is the best fight for Brooke. I ain't gonna hold you.
We could talk
Fuck
about
throwing me your panties. She just showing
how we
titties, man.
want the Robin versus Black Maria fight to go down. One thing I want to see is I don't want Robin to just stand there and just spam her devil fruit. I want her to actually be endangered to the point where she has to dodge shit. She has to be agile. She doesn't have to be like super agile, like someone that's like built to
Learn to
fight
be
like that.
active in a fight.
Yeah,
If-
pretty much. Just
yeah.
like don't stand there and just spam devil fruits. Like that shit's boring. Like at least dodge something. Maybe use your devil fruit to help you dodge in some instances. But I want to feel like the sense of danger where she actually has to fight outside of her normal fighting comfort zone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I want this to be like a high diff fight between the three of them. I guess.
I still don't want Brooke to be there, but maybe he has to. I mean, Black Maria
I
is
mean, if
probably
he's gonna
pretty
be
strong.
there, maybe Brooke takes out the fodder, which shouldn't take long actually.
Yeah.
But still,
That's what I was thinking too. Brooke takes out the fodder, and then like once he sees that Robin can handle this on his own, maybe he goes to do something else. He goes to support somebody else. I don't know. Because I'm with you. It wouldn't be. I mean, if they had to double team her, tag team, like that means Black Maria is decently strong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I mean that wouldn't be
I guess
surprising.
it's to
But
hype
still.
her up.
Yeah, but then the weird part is Nami gonna solo ulti while they like get each other's help for Black Maria, and then Usopp might solo page one.
That'd be ridiculous.
Nami, and them not soloing these niggas. They getting jumped, niggas. Like they literally turning all their people against them to jump them to try to get a better like one hitting blow in. And I still think Nami's going to use Big Mom's thunder to like finally beat Alti, but you know what I'm saying that wouldn't necessarily be Nami's power. That would be Big Mom assistance unknowingly.
I'm just
Like,
trying
if
to
they somehow
imagine like
get
how
outside-
that comes about. Like her Zeus randomly just falls through a crevice, and Nami's like, "Oh, Zeus," and then just uses it.
No, not even like that. Like if like you see how like Nami and them are running on the dog line or whatever. If they run outside and Big Mom has this big ass thunderstorm, Nami can redirect all of that lightning. She's shown it. She did it on Whole Cake. You know what I'm saying? When Big
that's
Mom was
pretty
angry and
decent.
she was fighting Amande. So, you know what I'm saying? If they get outside, yeah, she can drop a big ass thunderbolt on the both of them. Because that fucking thunderbolt she hit Big Mom with was crazy. So, I don't
Oh, the
see
one from
OT
Big
in
Mom
phase
was
one.
specifically from Zeus.
But I'm saying, like, Zeus is inside of the cloud, is he not? Or at least the clouds were being pumped up by Zeus.
I don't know how it works. Because I know what you mean. She can control the weather on her own island. But I don't think
If
those
she did it
clouds
or
that
not,
you
like,
were specifically Zeus.
I'm saying either or is what I'm saying. It's like if it's just like a cloud, like the thunder clouds is powered up by Big Mom's soul, or if it's Zeus himself, like Zeus just happens to be in the air and I don't know, she just drops that shit. I'm just saying I can see Nami beating Ulti in them without without needing like an actual assistance. Because like put it like this, right? Like I said, if they run outside, Usopp uses his plants to like keep Page One and OT in one place for long enough for Nami to drop that shit and they win. You know what I'm saying? Along with Tama turning the fucking smile niggas against them to like weaken them along the way. You know what I'm saying? That's a dub.
Yeah, considering the caliber of opponents, yeah. But let's get back to the Robin stuff. Some other things I want to see from Robin is new moves, obviously. Maybe, well, like I remember some person in the Discord, like he came up with this like crazy like hand fu or whatever type of fighting style. Like he just went like so in depth with it, and I'm like, I feel bad for you, because Oda's not gonna do all this. But I want something like maybe a glimpse of that, just some new moves and some like way you can incorporate the Devil Fruit with actual martial arts. Maybe she even learns armament hockey, and then that's how she's able to output enough power to actually defeat her, considering she's a Zoan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'd be cool for her to learn armament hockey in the middle of battle. And I mean, she's probably gonna get like some big like declaring character moment. Like it usually happens where someone insults something they care about, like the person insulting history in Skypiea, and like she turns like demon mode. She's like, "Don't insult history." So I'm guessing, considering how the story's been going so far, it's probably gonna be like something with maybe she insults Luffy, and then it's like Luffy's gonna be the Pirate King, don't insult him moment. Maybe it's something insulting her and like her relevance to the crew, like going back to this where she really appreciated Sanji helping her, like something about her feeling insecure about not helping enough. So she's like, this is the moment where I gotta step up. This is like the breaking point. This is gonna be this battle in general is gonna be what takes us to the next level, and actually is gonna make Luffy becoming Pirate King like very, very close. So something along those lines, like some good character moment for her.
To add on to your martial arts point, it would be really cool if she uses like one of Dragon's techniques, whether it be like Dragon Claw, Dragon Talent, or whatever. I like not
Yeah,
as
I'd like that.
devastating as Sabo, but just the technique itself. Like,
Nah, I feel you. That'd be cool.
I want to see her break Black Mirror's legs with a well placed clutch.
I mean, yeah, that could
oh,
work.
I want to see that specifically.
Breaking shit, very fun.
those your last words? Like, yo, Robin's so dope. Those your last words, Black Maria? Because
Yeah, people die in One Piece. That was awesome. I'm joking.
I'm looking at the end of this chapter where she said, "From now on, you'll belong to Kaido," and she said, "No thanks, I'd rather die." Maybe it's something involving that, where tying into what I said about her feeling like she hasn't attributed that much to the crew in terms of combat, actually helping them and shit. Maybe she wants to like turn away this notion that she's just someone that the crew has to watch over because she can be used for the poneglyphs, and so like just mentioning that might like trigger her later on in the fight. I don't know. There's multiple angles Oda could go with this.
He's somehow not going to take any of them, I bet.
I hope that's not the case, but I won't be too bummed out. But
I'm happy we finally got most of the matchups set.
Yeah.
The only
I
ones
feel
we
you.
still waiting for, like, to be confirmed is Brook, whether or not he leaves this area to fight somebody else, or and Sanji, whether he fights Queen or Jack. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, the fights are lined up, so we'll probably get about another 20 chapters dealing with everybody's fight, 20, 30 chapters dealing with everybody's fight, and then be back on the roof. We might get like little snippets of the roof in between, but
Well, I thought you were gonna say 2030 and then Wano's over, not 2030 and then we get back to the roof. I don't know about that, Chief. I mean, I could see like, well, I think it's gonna like
Oda,
shift from the roof in Onigashima, but I feel like overall it'll take about 30 chapters and Wano's over.
really. So you
Yeah.
think we going? So what? You think the rest of the fights are set up next chapter? Like, you know what I'm saying, like Yamato, Jack, Sanji, Queen. Let's just say Brook stays where he's at. So all of the fights are set up, and you think to conclude all of those fights is going to be in 9 chapters, 10 chapters?
I mean, Oda usually, if he wants to dedicate like one entire chapter to one fight, he can get a fight finished in one chapter, maybe 2, maybe 1.5, around there. And these are for like the big fights that he actually cares to show. So yeah, I think 30 chapters is definitely reasonable.
Yeah, I don't think other than like
Okay.
like the main fights, usually they aren't like 10 chapters long.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like Sanji has always had a main fight, and his shit hasn't even started yet. Like
I don't know.
Frankie started, but it's like what, like 3-4 chapters in to the Frankie, like the Frankie Sasaki shit.
Yeah.
Jinbei's been fighting who's who for about as long, so it's like unless we spend the next like 4 or 5 chapters dedicated to Sanji and like him getting crossed, like him crossing Queen, and then them fighting for like the next 2-3 chapters, and then cutting away to everybody else, wrapping that up, and then cutting back to Sanji. Because you know what I'm saying, like it has to, like it's always gone in that order. Like Usopp and Nami fights in first, and fucking Frankie's and Brooks if they get a fight, and then you know what I'm saying, Sanji, Zoro, Luffy, and since Zoro and Luffy are fighting the same people, it's like Sanji. You know what I'm saying, Sanji's fight has to end before we get back to the roof to conclude that shit.
Yeah. The thing is, though, Sanji's fights have never been like super long. I don't think they've ever been like over a chapter. With like the only thing is that if you like skip away from it, obviously it goes past multiple chapters. But it's never been like one dedicated like super long fight if you add up all the panels. So that might still be the case. Maybe since it's Wano and this is like what the post time skip has been building up for, you could like if Oda goes more in depth with the fights, like I wouldn't be surprised necessarily. But given his track record, like he does not have fights last that long. The only reason they do
usually fights last 2 chapters. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, you good. I mean, that was a good tidbit. But yeah, I don't know. I still think Wano will last around 30 chapters, but he could do a lot in that. It just depends because if he...
Okay, when you say Wano, my fault, but when you say Wano, do you mean like the fight with Onigashima or just everything in general? Like we wrap up Wano in 30 chapters?
I'm thinking the fighting is done and then we'll get like a few more chapters for the aftermath.
Okay. 30 chapters? What would be that? 1035? We haven't even gotten into Act 4.
Well, if there's even an Act 4. I'm not necessarily like completely set on that. I mean, throughout Wano, I kind of was, but I feel like Act 3 is kind of going on for way too long, so I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, I feel you, because I'm still not of the belief that we have like this big major tragedy that everybody's waiting for.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
So, I guess 30. I'm gonna say like 30 to 50 chapters.
Fair.
Just because I think it's gonna I think the wrap up of Wano is gonna take a little longer than just a bank, like everybody having a party, because you know what I'm saying, like it's about like what they do after Wano that is like really the main focus. You know what I'm saying, like it's taking out Kaido and then the process of opening up their borders. I don't think that just happens in like 2 chapters, but Oda could speed through it.
I mean, honestly, I could see that happening in half a chapter. Like, just some speech about not being bigoted and being open-minded, and the Wano people were like, after everything we've gone through, he's right! And then they all just, like, start crying or some shit. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely
now that you say it, I can actually see that happening. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be, like, some, like, delving into the ideology and then, like, telling them why, like, them explaining why they had the previous one and then actually, like, proving them wrong. I don't think it's gonna be, like, some Say versus Real Fooey type shit.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be some deep, mind-boggling shit, but I do think they're gonna spend some time on it.
Yeah, that's what they usually do. They usually, like, they have, like, a bunch of people's thoughts on it, then they have, like, a flashback to Odin, and then they have, like, oh, man, I can't believe after all this time, and then, you know, you go around the island and stuff.
Man, stupid crying faces and tail, and then...
Yeah, they have, like I said,
I like with Twilight here. I think it's gonna take like more than a couple chapters. I feel like he's gonna spend time on that specifically.
All right. I mean, it is something that you can argue has been built up. So yeah, I'm not necessarily against it. I just don't really see it happening.
And then he has to wrap up some subplots that Tama, what she's gonna do, and all that other stuff. Just things like that. Even if we don't care, he's gonna wrap that up.
What Tama's gonna do, what Yamato's gonna do, like what Momo's gonna do with the minks. Whether like what the
Yakuza's gonna do.
Like, what does Momo have the power to free Zunisha from its bird? Like it's confinement, not confinement, but it's exile.
I'm gonna say probably.
So like, if Zunisha pulls up to Wano. You know what I'm saying? And like it just like chills there and it becomes like a part of the Wano regions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just like rests its knees underwater so that the actual city of Zou is on like level with everything else.
Yo, well, all the ships got destroyed, so they're like, well, we can leave Wano, but how? All the ships got destroyed, and then Zunisha comes.
Oh, yeah, what happened to the Sunny when the island went into the air?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna assume on like logically that since Frankie and them said they tied it up to like the port or something, that it got lifted with the island, but it could just be floating around in the water. I mean, that's something we probably never gonna actually get. Sunny's just gonna, not for nothing. The Sunny probably got its own mind by now, so the Sunny is just it moved on its own.
Yeah,
Sunny moved on its own.
if the Sunny randomly shows up, I'm not gonna be like, wow, there's no explanation for that. I don't really care about that. But
One Piece gets really ridiculous at times.
yeah, I mean, like I talked about in my Wano critique, that fucking octopus stopping Luffy was the difference between them winning and losing, because it got Luffy separated, it got him to the prison, and then that got him to learn Rio. So yeah, that octopus is the savior of Wano.
Oh man, it's like, oh wait, you don't watch superhero movies? Never mind.
Yeah,
Nah, but that's not true because he got sent to prison after he met up with them. Remember, they was at the castle when he learned about the graves and
Yeah,
Kaido came.
but before that, that's when that's why Jack came, and then, like, that got everyone ruffled up, like they knew shit was going down. Because Luffy, you know, he busted up what's his face, that dude Virgo likes for some reason. Hold him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But I think that's pretty much it. Unless we want to say something else, I think we could wrap it here.
Oh, what do you
Nah.
guys think of Sanji's character development this chapter?
It's so beautiful. I mean, before he wasn't willing to trust his crew, and now he's willing to trust a woman out of all things. I mean, truly peak fiction, man.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, man. Sometimes the
Yeah,
truth, it just has to be set free.
That's all that needs to be said. That shit was trash. Let's just end it here.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.